Hey crypto friends, my name's Garrett and welcome to Altcoin Radar. Now, these lines that I'm going to be showing you guys today might look like nothing more than a few lines on a crypto chart, but hidden inside of these lines is a very simple way to spot high probability trades. And once you understand how these lines work, you will never look at the market the same way again. Now, before we actually go ahead and dive into the video, for those of you guys who are interested in crypto trading and would like to try out the same exchange that I use on a daily basis, feel free to go ahead and try out the Blowfin exchange here. You can use the link in the video description down below this video. So guys, now, the reason why we are going ahead and talking about trend lines today is because many, and I mean many, beginner crypto traders tend to overlook the simple things on the crypto charts, and trend lines is one of those simple things, all right? Now, the best way to use trend lines is to use them as support and resistance and finding entry and exit levels based on the support and resistance levels that the trend lines create, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and show you a few examples. One of the biggest examples that I'm going to show you right now, this very second, is just this one that's going on with Link right here, okay? Now, these trend lines, they typically love to form, you can either use them as support and resistance, or they eventually end up forming a charting pattern. And as you guys can clearly see here, these trend lines right here, on the 1 hour chart for Link, created a falling wedge, all right? Now, you can clearly see we went from the very bottom here, the bottom of the wick on this candle right here, all the way up to the current bottom wick before we ended up going upwards here, all right? So you kind of just connect the lines one to another, and it kind of creates a pattern or support and resistance areas. And as you guys can clearly see, this one came all the way down. We had a little bit of a downtrend, and this one came kind of almost straight across, all right, creating this falling wedge looking kind of pattern right in here, all right? Now, the way this works is since it was in kind of a downtrend right here and it was creating this falling wedge, you can clearly see that the top line would have acted as resistance and the bottom line would have acted as support, all right? Now, before this candle right here was created, you would have had the line right down here instead, which still technically would have been considered a falling wedge, all right? So it really doesn't matter which line you end up connecting it to. It could be this one, it could be this one, but realistically overall, as you guys can clearly see, it's going to create the same type of charting pattern as you guys can clearly see right in here, all right? So we've got our falling wedge right here. We ended up coming down right here and creating this the lower part of the support right in here on this falling wedge. And we ended up going back up to try to retest the top end of the falling wedge right in here. And we ended up coming back down, but as you guys can clearly see, price action did not go all the way back down to the bottom of the falling wedge once again, all right? That's going to tell you right there that momentum is starting to pick up, all right? So because that happened, we ended up going all the way back around, and we ended up passing through the resistance area, which would have been the top end of this trend line right here. So this is what I was talking about using these trend lines as support and resistance, all right? So you use this as resistance, you place your long order right here at this level, or you could have set it right at the top of one of these candles as well if you wanted a little bit more confirmation too, all right? So if you would have done that and you would have profited off of this breakout, you'd be up by roughly around like 9.8% right now. Or if we go ahead and multiply that by 10x leverage, you know, that's about 10x leverage, it's about 90%, almost 100% profits right there with 10x leverage. So it just goes to show you guys that you can use these trend lines in a lot of different ways, all right? Now let's go ahead and take a look at a different random chart. We're just going to click on Solana here. I'll go ahead and get rid of my Fibonacci levels that I had going on there. So let's go ahead and see what we've got going on here. So we are on the 1 hour chart for Solana. I'm going to go ahead and put the top of my line right here at the top of this trend, and we're going to go ahead and move it all the way down, all right? So we're moving it all the way down, and we are simply connecting this line to the top candle wick of this line right here because it's significant, and then we will take the bottom area of this wick down here of the low that we had over here, and we will connect it to the bottom candle of the downtrend right in here, all right? So as you guys can clearly see, we ended up creating what's technically another, pretty much another kind of like a falling wedge that we had right in here. And as you guys can clearly see, price action did end up breaking out of it back up to the upside. And as you can clearly see, it is starting to trend upward right now as well. All right. So that is one way that you can use trend lines. Now, another way that you can use trend lines as well is you can use them as support and resistance as well with horizontal trend lines too. All right. So if we were to go ahead and use them as horizontal support and resistance, what you would end up doing is you would take your horizontal line tool and you just start marking out all of the significant key levels here on you know, with your horizontal tool here. All right. And these lines technically become support and resistance. All right. So we've got, you know, strong resistance there. Now I'm only marking out the ones from the most previous trend here. All right. Now, because I am a day trader. Now, if I was more of a swing trader, I'd be marking out these other levels back in here as well. And I'd probably move out to the 4-hour chart and go back even further to mark out the more significant levels. All right. So we're going to go ahead and mark out these levels. We had a little bit of a high right here, and then we had a high right here, but it's pretty close to this one as well. So we'll just go ahead and count this one instead. And then let's see here. Then we have got a good solid support level right in here. And then we've got more support right in here, which would have been the top of that little bit of a trend we had. And then we've got support all the way down here. And then you can kind of use these lines to kind of gauge where you should set your potential buy and sell orders based on these levels. All right. So obviously, you know, we were down here and then price ended up coming up to this resistance area right here. Now, obviously, when it comes up to this resistance area, you know, you place your long order right in here because you want to see if price action is going to go up to the next level. All right. Now, once it goes up to the next level, then you move your stop loss into profit up to this level if it continues to keep going up. And that's what happened here. So you'd move your stop loss into profit up here once it passes this level. You got your stop loss and profit up here, and then you continue to ride it up to the next level, and you just kind of take it level by level in a step-by-step fashion all the way up. But overall here, guys, this is technically how trend lines work, and they're very, very, very useful. And to be quite honest with you, there are literally all kinds of people out there that just do not pay attention to these small things on the naked charts like this, and they could be making all kinds of money using these simple trend lines on a chart. All right. So overall here, guys, the simpler your charts are, the easier it's going to be to see various patterns and trends in the price action itself, which is why I am such a big fan of keeping it simple and using basic tools like trend lines in my own trading. All right. Now, not only are they great for support and resistance purposes, but they are also great for pinpointing potential entry and exit points as well, as I've been showing you here. Now, guys, before I go ahead and wrap up this video, if you guys enjoyed this one and you feel like you got some pretty decent value out of it, please be sure to go ahead and help me out and subscribe to the channel, hit the like button below, and drop a comment below about something that you loved about this video. And hey, guys, with that said, for those of you who stuck around and watched the whole video throughout the whole thing, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all of you.